In this video, I want to show you 9 underrated iOS features that you probably haven't explored yet. These are features that have privacy and user experiences at the center of its thinking, and also combine that with the entire ecosystem, how some features, whether you set it on one device, works on the another devices, just makes your mind blown. Some of these features are going to completely change the way how you interact with your devices. So without further ado, let's get going. So the first one I want to show you is how to remove those annoying pop-ups you get as soon as you download the app to sort of rate the apps. But this is how you do it. So in your settings, you're just going to come in and scroll all the way up, go to your app store. And then if you click on the app store, you will get a lot of options on the right hand side. Some of the things are, you see the app downloads, app updates, in-app content. So where you'd see in-app ratings and reviews, just toggle that off. So what that would mean is it would now prevent any apps from just giving you the pop-up. If you want to, you can still go to the app store and leave a review for the app that you want to leave a review for. That's completely fine, but this would just prevent it. So another thing I wanted to show you is the hide my email feature. This is fantastic because every time you download an app and want to use someone's services, it asks you to sign in, and then you end up giving email addresses. And what then happens is they start emailing you weekly, daily, spamming your inboxes with every single thing that you haven't signed up for. While with iOS, you can hide your email addresses. Privacy is at the center of iOS. There are a lot of the things that are baked into the operating system that no one really talks about, but I just want to show you this. So for example, let's just go and open an app here. So I'm on the DeepSeek app, and when I open the app for the first time, it's asking me to log in via email or sign in using my Google or Apple IDs. So if I choose the Apple option, you can see there it says share my email or hide my email. So if I share, they will see my entire email, but if I hide my email, what Apple would do is it would create a different copy of the email only Apple knows, right? So now at the moment, I've got full confidence that this app doesn't have my actual email. I'm not going to get any spammed. I'm not going to get anybody any suspicious activity. The fantastic thing about this is it's baked into the operating system, and it puts users' privacy at the core of its functions. Next up is the live activities. You may have already seen this if you own an iPhone device and you're on the latest operating system. Basically what live activities does is it gives you a live progress of things that you can track. So for example, if you have ordered a taxi and your taxi's on the way, you could track that. If you're on Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and the food is on the way to you, you can track where it is. For me, I use it for my football scores and football matches. I go and open up my football app, I track a match, and the scores then appear on both my lock screen and on the dynamic island. So one of the great things about the dynamic island is that app developers can take advantage of both the dynamic island and the live activities feature to get information over to you. So it saves you time from having to flip over different apps, have the information available straight to you whilst you focus on all the other areas that you want to focus on. And as an added benefit, as part of an ecosystem, anything that you're tracking live on your phone, you can also get them on your watch. Guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm close to the 1,000 subscriber mark. It would really help me to sort of hit that goal. I've been working really hard to hit that goal of 1,000 subscribers. So please do give a like and a subscribe to the channel. Another underrated feature is actually the Shortcuts app. So the Shortcut app allows you to automate custom events based off a single trigger. So for example, on my phone, you can see when the CarPlay connects, play music. So that's multiple triggers. So the phone's waiting for the CarPlay to be enabled, and as soon as it enables, it plays the music. I've also got, if I set a focus as workout, put do not disturb on and get a playlist and play that music from the playlist. And I've also got one set up where I said when the battery falls below 20%, set low power mode on. So for example, this is how it runs. You can say when it falls over, you got this dialer to move them up and down 30-40%. So you can even say 40% and run immediately. And as soon as you do that, when your phone falls to 40%, you will run that. Interestingly, the new Samsung Galaxy Ultra phones actually are using some of the bits from the Shortcut apps into the Galaxy AI. So not many people talk about it. It was a big deal when it came, but it kind of just got swept under the carpet, but it is still there. It's really, really powerful. I think the reason why it got swept under the carpet is because of the action button, because the action button can also trigger a lot of these things. So if you have a shortcut, you can configure that shortcut to the action button, and mind is blown. There's just so many things that you can do. The next thing I want to show you is how powerful the family sharing options are. So I have a Apple One account which I share with 5 or 6 family members, and the benefit of this is if you can share subscriptions or anything that you own across to all of your family members. And I'll show you how this is done. So within the app, go to the settings. If you click on the family option, you will see your family members, but then you also have recommended for your family. So within the recommended for your family, there are just so many things that you could do. So for example, you could create a shared calendar that's shared across all of your family members. You could create a family emergency contact. You can, like I said, you can share your location. You can share a lot of your purchases, including in-app purchases, Apple Music. You can also create a shared family grocery list, which is really amazing. You can also share passwords. So for example, I use this to share my Netflix password. Another thing I wanted to show you is that on iOS, you can copy text right from video. When you are playing a video and pause the video, you will get that square with a line option where you can trigger that to get the text. So on landscape, you see when I click on that, it becomes blue color, and you can trigger that both portrait and landscape like this. And what iOS have done is highlighted all the text for you. So in this instance, it's highlighted all the text in this video. So let me copy that. So you can see this is definitely a video. And when I pause it, it's able to copy all the text. So I've copied it. And now what we can do is we can just go back in here, paste it, and that's everything from that video. So if you ever have a video and you got text that you want to copy paste, it could be you're on a holiday, you want to translate something, that's one of the perfect way to do that. This one is going to blow your mind. On iOS, you could pretty much control a lot of the things that you get to use on your phone. So for example, you can control a lot of things from the App Store. You can control the content that you want to watch, or you can change and alter some of the settings, including locations and Face ID and whatnot. I'm using my iPhone as a way to showcase some of the things. So for example, when you go under the screen time, and within screen time, scroll all the way down and you can see content and privacy restrictions. Click on the content and privacy restrictions. So what this allows you to do is it gives you control over a lot of content and privacy features that you could restrict and prevent other users or other apps from overriding the settings that you have. So for example, in here, you've got the iTunes and App Store purchases. So you can say store purchase and re-downloads allow. So I can say whether you want to say every time download something or make an update, you can say require password. So at this moment, I've got don't require password, but if I take required password, every single time I want to download something, it requires password, right? So there are so many options here like this. You can play around. One of my favorite one is the passcode and Face ID. So I just want to quickly go and show you here. Just underneath the screen time, I've got the Face ID and passcode option. So if I go in here, go scroll all the way down, disable, don't allow passcode and Face ID changes. So if I come back, all of a sudden, just kill this. Come back again. You can see there's a little shuffle and I no longer have the FaceTime and passcode option. Why is this important? If you're sharing your devices with other people, if you got friends that are pranksters, you pretty much stop them from doing that. Or if you think there are some apps that could be potentially, seeing things or taking control, it just makes you feel better to do that. And let me show you another one. So once again, I'm in here. You can share my location. You just say allow. So this pretty much overrides any settings cross app. So for example here, this is the other one. So whenever my phone is connected to my car, I get the driving mode triggered via the shortcut apps. And when the driving mode is triggered, I no longer can use the phone, but I can disable it by inputting that I'm not the one driving. So sometimes when my passengers are using the phone, they will say I'm not driving and it deactivates the driving mode. But what you can do in this instance is to not allow that. So you can take absolutely zero tolerance policy on any of the settings you have, and you can control them in here, and not many people will know that. Also, if you're controlling your kids' screen time or what they can watch. You can control a lot of it through this. So I control many things like what they can consume. So the music and podcast, I could just say, look, only show the clean stuff and nothing explicit. Movies, you can say, you can control the age. So if this is a device that's for your kids, you can pretty much go and say they can only watch PG or U, and they won't be able to watch anything over that. So you can also stop in-app purchases from happening. You can also put your password in and download it, or Face ID and download it, and the purchases just won't go. Yeah, so if you go onto the iTunes App Store and purchases, and then click on in-app purchases, do not allow, this would override anything. You could, if you forget it, you could be buying stuff in app. You would get the logo to say, yep, everything's gone through, but then it will throw an error to say you haven't bought it. It's really good when you have kids, or you've forgotten some of the settings to turn off the password lock and stuff like that. This would just prevent you from getting in unnecessary situations. Another one I'm showing you is all based around efficiency, ease of use, and speed of use. With iOS 18, you can configure apps onto your home screen. What I've done is I've configured the calculator app. What this calculator app does is it allows you to use calculator without having to unlock the phone. So what I've actually done is I've done a setting where I can use 3 things without unlocking the phone. Actually 4 things without unlocking the phone. 1, I could swipe left to get some of my widgets in terms of I can check weather and all of that, right? And we've had from day one swiping to the left, we're going to get our camera. We also had flashlight option. There's this one more space in here which we could configure for the calculator. So if you press and hold, the calculator comes up and you can just start using it without having to unlock the phone. This is really great, especially if your phone is on charge and you want to just do some quick calculations. You don't need to pick up your phone, put your passcode in. So play around with some of the shortcuts available. Not all shortcuts bypasses the passcode and Face ID, but there are some that does bypass it, like the flashlight, like the calendar. There are 1 or 2 that does it. So play around with it, whatever you want. So let me know what you think. If you think that I've missed something, if you think that I've not covered it, there are any other features that are underrated, do share in the comment. If you do disagree with what I'm saying, do share that in the comment as well. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you. And the last thing I wanted to show you is the name drop feature. So since iOS 17, you can bump 2 iPhones together that have iOS 17 or more. You see this animation? It passes your contact information from one phone to another, and you can also do that with your Apple Watch as well. So if you just move your watch next to somebody else's phone, it would bump together. There you go, you can see that blink. That's a really good way of sharing contact information. As you can see, there are loads of features that are baked into iOS. I've only touched the 9 things that I think that was important. There are so many other features that might be important for others. If there are, do let me know. But one thing stands out is no matter what these features are, they have user at the center of its thinking, and it also takes advantage of the ecosystem, right? So what you can do on the iPhone, you can do on the iPad, and you can also trigger some of these events and features through your Apple Watch, which makes life a lot more easier, which has convenience at its core. And that's what makes iOS really great. Till I see you in the next one. Take care.